For years, we all just accepted that Cupertino completely murdered the pocket camera. I mean, the iPhone Pro Max basically made carrying a dedicated point and shoot look like an absolute joke. But out of nowhere, Sony just dropped a bombshell that has me genuinely questioning if the smartphone camera reign is coming to a violent end. Reports just leaked that Sony is officially reviving the legendary RX100 line with a Mark VIII in 2026. And the specs on this thing are so ridiculously aggressive, it honestly makes the Apple ecosystem look entirely complacent. I know what you were thinking. Why on earth would anyone buy a dedicated pocket camera when they already have a $1,000 iPhone? Well, grab a snack because the supply chain chatter on this hardware is wild, and it directly impacts what Apple is being forced to do with the upcoming iPhone 17. Mark Gurman has been saying for months that Apple is struggling to fit larger glass sensors into the iPhone chassis without causing severe thermal throttling. They are hitting a literal wall. Ming-Chi quote recently backed this up, pointing out that Cupertino is ultimately capped by the physical limits of glass and physics, especially when dealing with the new periscope lenses. We all know Apple relies heavily on Sony to supply their iPhone sensors, but this time around, it looks like Sony kept the absolute best toy for themselves. According to fresh chatter out of the ELEC, Sony's new 1-inch stacked Exmor RS sensor is not just a minor spec bump over a smartphone sensor. We're talking about a massive generational leap. The leaks indicate a resolution pushing past 20 megapixels, but these pixels are physically large enough to capture actual light, not just rely on aggressive software trickery. And a brand new leak just hit my desk this morning, suggesting they are porting over the AI auto framing text rate from their flagship ZV-1. The camera will literally crop and follow you around the frame natively. No third-party apps required. Let's talk about the processing power for a second, because this is where Apple usually dominates. For the last 5 years, Apple Silicon has absolutely crushed the mobile space. The seamless integration of the A-series chips with iOS is what makes the iPhone a daily driver for so many creators. But DG Times just published a report showing Sony is shoving the flagship BIONZ XR processor right into the tiny body of the Mark VIII. That is the exact same silicon they use in their massive high-end professional alpha cameras. Honestly, I will believe it when I see it, because putting a pro-level chip in a pocketable chassis sounds like a recipe for a thermal nightmare. But if they actually pull it off, it completely eliminates menu lag and lets you shoot high-speed bursts that would instantly choke an iPhone. You can process heavy raw image files instantly. If you're shooting running pets or sports, the computational lag we still see on smartphones just vanishes. Wait, are you guys actually tired of the over-sharpened, overly HDR iPhone look? Or is it just me? Let me know down in the comments, because I feel like a lot of us are missing the natural optical depth of field you only get from real glass. Now, if you shoot video, this is where it gets really interesting and where Apple should be sweating. Shrimp Apple Pro hinted recently that Apple's upcoming video upgrades might be extremely incremental, tied up in TSMC 3-nanometer yields that favor efficiency over brute force graphics. The Mark VIII is rumored to shoot 10-bit internal video. That kind of color depth means you can actually grade your footage heavily in post-production without the sky turning into a blocky digital mess like it does on smartphone footage. If you're producing content for a channel like Educational Hub, getting perfectly clean whiteboard shots or desk setups without those weird digital artifacts is an absolute game changer. Add in the new optical stabilization mixed with AI electronic correction, and you basically have a built-in gimbal in your pocket. Vloggers can walk and talk without that weird jittery warp effect you always get on the iPhone's action mode. Makotakara recently noted that Apple is actively testing similar AI stabilization for future hardware, but Sony is apparently bringing it to market right now. And speaking of viewing what you shoot, Ross Young recently talked about how OLED screen yields are affecting camera preview displays across the industry. RY Sony apparently just brute forced a much brighter, clearer rear display, so you can actually compose shots in harsh direct sunlight without squinting at a dim piece of glass. They also updated the pop-up electronic viewfinder with a higher resolution and a faster refresh rate. Having a physical EVF makes composing shots in bright daylight infinitely more comfortable and precise compared to relying solely on a smartphone screen that dims itself after 3 minutes in the sun. Let's look at low light performance. Apple loves to brag about night mode, but let us be real. It is just stacking frames and guessing the colors. Dedicated glass still physically captures way more light. The leaks suggest this new Sony sensor combo offers up to 2 stops better noise reduction. No fake software processing, just pure clean low light performance. This makes a huge difference if you are shooting inside dark rooms, night streets, or evening events. Then there's the autofocus. The RX100 line always had crazy fast autofocus, but adding specialized AI recognition algorithms means this tiny camera will instantly lock on human faces, eyes, fast-moving cars, and flying birds with terrifying accuracy. It is basically the autofocus system of a massive professional rig crammed into a jacket pocket. Let us talk about storage and media management, which is a massive headache on modern smartphones. Apple finally gave us USB Type-C, allowing us to record ProRes directly to an external SSD. But bolting a dangling hard drive to the back of your phone completely ruins the ergonomics. It feels like a messy science project. Sony is heavily rumored to be integrating a brand new dual-layer memory buffer right onto the sensor board. This means you will never hit those annoying write speed limits when bursting RAW photos. Plus, having a dedicated high-speed SD slot means you are not paying Apple's insane storage upgrade fees. You just swap cards and keep rolling. Battery life was always the Achilles heel of these small cameras. You used to carry multiple spare batteries just to survive a day of travel vlogging. Well, rumors point to a new battery setup delivering nearly 30% longer life on a single charge. Combine that with a long overdue upgrade to standard USB Type-C for fast charging and high-speed UHS 2 SD card support, and the workflow finally makes sense. You can offload massive 4K files to your Mac in a fraction of the time. And they're doing all of this while keeping the camera completely pocket-sized. The body is apparently only slightly thicker than the last model. If Sony really manages to price this thing around $899, it completely undercuts the Apple tax you pay for a Pro Max iPhone. You get real glass lenses, manual control dials, dedicated external microphone ports, and professional image quality. The 6-year gap was not Sony giving up. It was them waiting for the tech to catch up. The smartphone camera market has been stagnant for too long, coasting on slight software tweaks year after year. We desperately needed a heavy hitter to come in and disrupt the space, and throwing alpha-level tech into a form factor this small is exactly the wake-up call Cupertino needed. So what are you going to do? Are you sticking with the convenience of your iPhone for another year? Or are you ready to jump back into dedicated glass? Drop your thoughts below because the camera wars are officially back on.